Hi, I'm Will from Delupa. In this video, I'll be showing you how to use Delupa's newly redesigned retrofitting workflow. Retrofitting is a quick and easy process that allows your models to be fitted with hyperlinks overlaying your data points, which prepares your model to be updated with the click of a button whenever new fundamental data is released. The retrofitter lives in the Delupa Excel add-in, which also houses our updater, which you can use after your model has been set up. If you're interested in a step-by-step video on our add-ins updater function, look for that how-to video on delupa.com/videos. Now let's get to retrofitting your model. We are starting here with a cell-side model for Salesforce, and we are going to retrofit this model using the Delupa Excel add-in. Let's retrofit this model together so you know what it looks like in real time. To start, we're going to open the Delupa add-in, and after logging in with our Delupa credentials, our add-in will identify that there are no hyperlinks in this model. The add-in will direct you to Retrofit, and we will click Start Retrofitting Now to begin the process. We will start by designating the period row within the model. For this model, we have two different period rows, calendar year and fiscal year, so we can use either here. To guide our retrofitter, we will identify that calendar year labels sit in row 1. Then we'll select our company. We are retrofitting a Salesforce model, so we will select CRM from the drop-down list. Afterwards, we identify column A as our row header column, since that houses all the data labels. And lastly, we identify the column to retrofit. For best practices, we recommend selecting the column where you've input data from the most recently reported quarter. For this model, that is column S. Now we will select Next, and the retrofitter will ask if we want formulas retrofit or not. As a best practice, if you don't want your formulas to be overwritten, select the first option, which will preserve any formulas within your model. After we specify our formatting preference, click Next, and the add-in will overlay the data points in column S with hyperlinks from the Delupa database. The retrofitter is now preparing the model to be updated by our Excel add-in, regardless of formatting, by backtesting the user's existing model and data with the figures from Delupa's database to look for matches. Afterwards, it will update the model with hard-coded data points with hyperlinks overlaying each figure which direct to the source document. The hyperlinks enable the Delupa updater to be able to identify the correct rows for newly disclosed data to go into for future updates. When clicked, these links will take you back to the source document from which the figure was pulled for maximum auditability. For our final step of retrofitting, sometimes there may not be a perfect match between the data that was originally in the model and what was pulled from our Delupa database. Those data points will be aggregated for you to inspect, and the add-in will highlight potential fits the system has identified for you to evaluate. There may also be data points from your model that are rolled up numbers, and the add-in will allow you to retrofit rolled up numbers. Let's go through both of these processes in more detail. For the inspection process, you can click the drop-down to show all the data points that need to be audited. If you don't want to audit these data points, or you would like to do so later, you can click Skip All Remaining at the bottom. But for future updates, unless the data points are retrofit, those rows will not be updated with the latest data. Now let's get started. For each data point, we will click the Review button, and this will show us the data we're referencing from your model at the top, and the data that we found that was the best match for your hard-coded figures. The figures that we had a discrepancy with will be highlighted in orange, and if you want to check to see where this difference could be coming from, you can click the figure to take you to the source document. In this case, you can see that the figure that was originally in the cell was incorrectly taken from the unearned revenue at the end of the period instead of the beginning. Now that we've checked our work, we can select the orange data point to correct this in the model, and then select Retrofit and Next. We have now audited and retrofitted that data point, so we can continue to the next point in our inspection queue. Let's do another inspect and match together. This data point is a great example of another common match scenario that may come up. Here, for this billings KPI, the orange cell highlighted shows that for Q4 2019, there may have been a rounding mismatch. We can click into the Delupa data point, and it will show that 8,667 was the reported number instead of 8,666. So after checking, we can select the Delupa data point, retrofit, and move to the next one. To retrofit your whole model, go through this quick audit process for each of the data points highlighted to make sure each of these rows automatically update when new releases come out. Now, let's quickly walk through the rolled up number retrofitting function. To retrofit your rolled up numbers, you'll click the drop-down here and review all rolled up cells. In this case, we are reviewing the cell S29, which houses OUS revenue. That is a sum of cells S24 and S26. To make sure that this automatically updates, we can overlay a hyperlink by mapping the Dalupa data points that input into this sum to the figure. We will find our first input, which in this case is Europe revenue, and check the box next to it. This has now assigned the variable A to the European revenue data row. We will then find our second input, which is Asia Pacific revenue, and we will check the box which assigns the variable B to the Asia Pacific revenue data row. Then we will apply our formula to the two inputs. In this case, it is Europe plus Asia Pacific, or A plus B. And after we write this formula, we can click Retrofit, and now our rolled up number is properly hyperlinked and ready to be updated. If you click on the hyperlink, it will map to the two source documents that the inputs are taken from, so you can always audit and trace the values. When you've reviewed all of your data points, you can click Close, and the retrofitting process is complete. Now that you've finished retrofitting, your model is ready to be updated with a click of a button in perpetuity. For a detailed view on how to use the Dalupa add-in for updating and other Dalupa functions, you can find step-by-step videos at dalupa.com/videos. And if you would like to learn more or would like to talk to a team member, go to dalupa.com/demo.